you want to marry somebody who prefers to always, travel the world. And you are somebody who prefers to always stay at one place. Somebody likes air travel, another person likes road travel. Somebody likes homemade meal, and the other person prefers to eat outside. Somebody likes eating on the dinner table, another person likes eating on the bed, another person likes eating alone, another person likes eating together. One wants to have sex every day. One wants to have sex once in a week. Another person likes sleeping with the light on, another person likes sleeping with the light off. Another person likes sleeping with sleeping with music. Another person likes sleeping with quiet. People have often told you that marriage means you marry your opposite person. I'm here to tell you that that's not correct. You are not supposed to marry the opposite of you. You are not supposed to marry the opposite of you. Hi. Have you ever met someone who loves God the way you do? Involved, passionate, want to be able to, not just God, love life, understands and live life with the same vigor, energy, understands investment, understands raising children, understands love, understands purpose, understands kingdom, and they get you. When you guys speak together, it's like, where have you been all my life? I understand you. You really understand me. I can't believe that before you finish a sentence, they get where you are going to. But their lives and the way they live their life is completely crash designed from yours. And you are wondering, what's wrong? I have the same values with this person. I have the same morals with this person. We belong to the same tribe, but our patterns are different. Sometimes you might realize that your rhythms of life is different. Sometimes you might realize that your wiring is different. And sometimes you would say that they are the opposite of you. And people have often told you that marriage means you marry your opposite person. I'm here to tell you that that's not correct. You are not supposed to marry the opposite of you. You are not supposed to marry the opposite of you. You have to be with somebody that you are moving together. Though you might have shared values, but that doesn't automatically mean you have shared destiny. So let me explain. You are a morning person and your spouse is a night person. I'm not saying this is like a deal breaker. I'm saying you need to recognize the genetic patterns that are different. The first place to cross into getting somebody you want to get married to is that before somebody even comes into your circle, how do they come? Let me even backtrack a bit to find out. How do you get somebody to get into your life? They have to have your values, right? I hope they have your values. I hope the reasons why they are even your friends in the first place is because you have the same values. You share the same belief. In fact, even if you didn't know that's how people filtered into your space, I'm just telling you now, the way people come into your life is because you share the same values with them. So maybe the first question would be, to even choose right, you need to be sure. You really need to be sure that you know your values. What are your values? What drives your life? Values are like guardrails towards who you want to be. I like to tell people that one of my values is vulnerability. Nobody can come into my close circle that they don't live a life of vulnerability. We can't do anything together if you don't have a life of vulnerability. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's absolutely not going to work. So what you want to find the values first. But I'm saying now that you found the value, found somebody who you share the same value, this person wants to, build wealth, or they want to create industries, or they want to solve problems, and you are passionate like that, that doesn't always mean that you should marry them. You need to pause. You can love the same things, you can love the same God, you can love the same career, you can love the same approach to life, but you might not be built for the same future. So I'll give you a typical instance. Somebody likes homemade meal and the other person prefers to eat outside. Okay, for me, that was a big deal breaker. We love the same thing, but you just love to eat outside. And I really love to eat in the house. The other person really likes to be outside. And you really like to be indoors. See, you need to sit down. While it is possible for you to make your marriage to work, you need to be aware of it before you get into it. Preferably, you need to find somebody that aligns with your genetic pattern. It will create less conflict. It will create less conflict. So Amos says, can two walk together unless they agree? So what you are experiencing is what we experience in 1 Corinthians 13. You know, where Paul was describing the different functionality of one body. So what is happening is that the person that you have met is maybe the head and you are maybe the hand. So you are members of one body. The head wants to have the same thing. The hand wants to accomplish the same thing, but they do it differently. So you are going to always have those conflicts. What you really want to do is be able to marry somebody that is the head like you. Marry someone that is the hand like you. Your rhythms will swing together. You are the same body, but you also want to align with rhythms. You are the same body. Yes, can the marriage work if the head and the hand marry? Yes, you're just going to need to do more work for that. So you need to be aware before you get into the amount of work you'll be able to do into that. You need to be aware. You need to be aware. So you want to find somebody that doesn't just have the same value with you, but their genetic pattern is the same. By genetic pattern meaning how they prefer to function in life. You know, you want to marry somebody who prefers to always, travel the world. And you are somebody who prefers to always stay at one place. You both want, you have the same value, you have the same system, you are driving towards the same thing, but there's that thing now that is going to cause friction that you need to be particularly careful for. So don't just look out for the values, also look out for the genetic patterns. Your values now allows you to say, okay, we belong to the same tribe. Because of your values, you're not able to say, okay, we want the same thing, we trust the same thing, we believe the same thing, we want the same outputs. However, your genetic patterns now says we go about it differently. Don't jump into it without being clear. I will tell you to look for the one that your genetic pattern that allow you approach it the same way. Again, the analogy of the head and the hand. You are part of the body. You are serving the same purpose, but the head will function at the task differently, and the hand will function at the task differently. You want to pick your person that you are both hands and you are both heads, because it makes it easier. So, who are you at your core? Those are questions that help you get your value in the first place. What do you believe? Who do you honor? So you'll be asking, before the person even gets in, these are the things that just shapes your value. You're able to say, me and this person, who are we at the core of our identity? You might find similarity. Great. What do we mutually believe about life? Similarities. Great. See all these things that I'm saying has nothing to do with your feelings. Everything that we've been saying over this series, you can see that emotions they're not even anywhere. So let me just pause to say, are emotions important in your marriage? Yes, they are, but they are the back. You are going to have to lead your emotions. If you allow your emotions come to the front to lead you, it will lead you to where you don't know. So, who do we honor? Those are the things that shape your values. So, these things can be right. You, at your core, you are the same kind of persons. At your belief level, you believe the same things. At your honor level, you honor the same things. But how do we function? So you now answer, how do we live? You now want to answer, how do we move? You now want to answer, how do we express life? If there is a mismatch, you want to pause and say, okay, this might not work. Because it's easier. It's easier to just align with somebody who you live the same way, you move the same way, and you express life the same way. It's easier. It's easier to go with that approach. Stop thinking that the love has to be difficult for it to be authentic. Stop thinking that the love has to be dramatic for it to be authentic. Stop thinking that the love has to, want to pull out your hair for it to be authentic. There are places for sacrifice, but your marriage is where you want to move with somebody. So, for instance, somebody likes air travel, another person likes road travel. I'm just giving you, different instances. I'm not saying these are the things you should literally look out for, but I'm trying to show you different pattern of living. Somebody likes eating on the dinner table. Another person likes eating on the bed. Another person likes eating alone. Another person likes eating together. Another person likes sleeping with the light on. Another person likes sleeping with the light off. Another person likes sleeping with the light, sleeping with music. Another person likes sleeping with quiet. How do you move? How do you move? Two people can get same value for faith, same value for family, same value for integrity, same value for growth, but one may live with a different structure, one may live with a different order, one may live with a different routine, while the other may live with a more... So one person might be living their life and say, I'm a more structured person, I'm a more orderly person, I'm a person who follows routine. The other person might be like, don't worry, we believe the same thing with faith, we believe the same thing with family, we believe the same thing with integrity, we believe the same thing with growth, but I'm more spontaneous, I'm more unpredictable, I'm more fluid in my approach to life. You would find conflict where they needed, you didn't even need to have anyone exist. One may be saying, I am vision first, I'm assignment driven, and I'm purpose driven. The other person may live their life to say, no, I'm moment first, I'm emotionally driven, and I'm easily distracted. And this is how it works for me. Both will get results, but how they get their results are different. And if two of you now want to make one whole marriage, you would have a lot of issues. So, yes, same tribe, but different genetic pattern, you want to check it out. Yes, same tribe, but different approach to living, you want to check it out. You want to check it out. Same hearts, different patterns. There's going to be conflict. Your patterns will determine how compatible you both are, not your passion. I'll say it one more time so you can sink in. Your patterns will determine compatibility, not passion. Not passion. Your patterns will determine compatibility, not passion. One want to have sex every day. One want to have sex once in a week. Patterns, not passion. Patterns, not passion. You want to also pay attention attention to patterns. A lot of you don't even recognize that pattern is a factor to consider when you are going to get married. So you just focus on just value. So I am bringing it to your awareness that you need to pay attention to patterns also. How do they move? How do they live? How do they express their calling? Different expression can lead to the same result, but it might not make healthy combination for your marriage. So, in your tribe, your spiritual identity, these are just random things I put out there. You might have your purpose, your faithfulness might align. You might be God first. Honor, it clicks, integrity. You are destiny focused. And many people share this, but you see the things that you want to now go down to is to see your personal design system. How does it differ? No, yes. People would not even get in if they don't even have the first cadre of your values, your integrity, your destiny focus. You are God first. You honor people. You value these things. There's nothing worth considering if they don't even have this first one. There's nothing worth considering. It's not even a discussion. That's a no-no. Complete no-no. I'm saying after you found that they have this, you now want to pay attention to genetic pattern, which is their functional wiring. How do they think? How do they process? How do they build? How do they respond? How do they move? You want to pay attention to these things. You want to pay attention to these things. It has to also click for you. You might be a builder. The other person might be a drifter. You might be a planner. The other person might be a reactor. You might be someone intense. The other person might be someone who avoids intensity. You might be purpose-driven. The other person might be vibe-driven. You might be needs depth. The other person might avoid hard conversation. Your growth is design and you desire growth. The other person, no, let's just coast. You want to figure it out. There's nothing wrong with these two ways of expression, by the way. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this different way of expression, but you want to be able to identify it before you make the decision of leaping into the marriage. You want to be able to figure it out. You want to be able to know. The differences are not sinful, but they are dangerous for marriage. The differences will help friendship, but they are dangerous for marriage. The differences will help the body of Christ be able to walk and fulfill things, but they are dangerous for marriage. Because marriage is not just about heart connection. Marriage is also about how your life will move in the same direction. So you want to check it out. You want to check it out. So I'll give you a few reasons why it is important for you to check this thing out. Because, people who move differently, they practice things that are different from you. You become unequally yoked, not in belief, but in practice. Then you begin to have disparity in your approach. You begin to open the door. You begin to always be trying to catch up with the other person. So your marriage will always now feel like a marathon. One person prefers the marathon style, and the other person prefers the strolling style. There's nothing wrong with these different approaches, but you have to be aware of the pattern. Your values can unite you, but your patterns can exhaust you. So you want to be aware of it also. Because while the values are great, the patterns can be exhausting when they don't align. You can love somebody deeply and still be drained living with them daily. You really love them. You really care about them. You are going to the same place, but just being able to live with them daily to go there is taxing, draining, because you are constantly racing to catch up with them. It's very important you note this before you make the leap of choosing your person. Because purpose also requires alignment of peace, not just faith. Because you are going to the same place is great, but you have to also go with a rhythm of peace. So if God have called you to build and they have called them to also build, you can't be doing that in survival mode. You can't be doing that in survival mode. Marriage also needs rhythm. Marriage also needs rhythm. So two people with rhythm, that fight each other will eventually fight. So two people, who don't have rhythm, they will eventually fight themselves to exhaustion. So you want to look out for these things. It is a rhythm of peace, that helps you bring functionality of harmony in your marriage. Let me give you examples of what this looks like in real life. So you are marrying somebody in real life. One person is disciplined. The other person moves, according to how they feel. So one person is a planner. One person, you are prudent with finances. The other person says, no, we don't move like that. We just go as it feels. You'll be emotionally exhausted. Another person thinks long term. Another person says, no, let's only think about today. You want to grow. The other person avoids accountability. See, these are just little things. But I tell you, when it comes to marriage, they are big, they are huge. They are huge and big in marriage. They are huge and big in marriage. So you are looking for someone who doesn't just align to your values, but also align to your genetic patterns. You have the same tribes, great. But do you have the same rhythm? Do you have the same rhythm? And please, the rhythm doesn't have to be identical. I'm not saying sameness. I'm saying you are aligned. Me and my wife, we still have the same different taste book. Or you can eat what you want to eat, but we eat on the same table. You have to be aligned. So the purpose for marriage requires similar life pace. Marriage requires shared priority. Marriage requires compatible patterns. Marriage requires mutual responsibility. Marriage requires aligned emotional rhythms. Marriage requires similar vision compatibility. Marriage requires shared commitment to grow. Value will make you love each other, but patterns determine if you can build with each other. I want you to hear me clearly. Values will make you love each other, but patterns will determine if you can build together. So it is important that you find this. So today, don't just stop at asking, do we have the same value? Are we going to the same place? I want you to also ask yourself. Start asking yourself, if I'm supposed to live with this person for 60 years, will I be able to live with them every day? Can I stay in the same house with this person for 60 years? Because in marriage, your destiny is shaped more by pattern than they are by your passion. So, put this question at the forefront of your mind after you've been able to sort out your value. Can I live daily with this person for 60 years? I hope you'll be able to answer yes. And when you do, it's another pointer that you found your person. I'll see you in the next episode. My name is Ini. Bye-bye for now. Teaching love the kingdom way. Not just left, not just right. This is love.